online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. This is The 100, Season 2, Episode 14, Bodyguard of Lies. I'm your host, Tauri Miller, and you can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. Joining me on the panel is Ben Bateman.
What's up, everybody?
Where can they find you?
Ben Bateman Media, Twitter, and Instagram.
Nice. Alexis Torres.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at atorres890, and also in the chat roll, because we're live on YouTube.
Excellent.
So thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, leave comments, leave, what else do they do? Oh, rate
us.
Subscribe, all those things.
Interact
comment
with us, follow us on Twitter.
Things.
Yeah. We are available on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Everywhere you want to be, we are. So make sure you're keeping up with us at the hashtag on Twitter, ABTV100.
ABTV.
So let's get started.
Really quickly before we get started, Ty, I just wanted to talk to everybody about a brand new show coming out.
Oh, go for it.
So, guys, I wanted to ponder the question, what if something tragic in your life happened? And in the television event of the year, this might be happening in the new series, American Crime, which is going to be premiering on ABC coming up March 5th at 10/9 Central. So this series was created by John Ridley, who is the Oscar-winning screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave.
Nice.
It stars Timothy Hutton as well as Felicity Huffman, both of whom have been nominated for Oscars, and I believe Timothy Hutton has won an Oscar. So this is a pretty high-profile project. Be sure to check it out, American Crime on ABC, starting on Thursday, March 5th at 10/9 Central. I think it's going to be really fantastic.
That's going to be awesome.
I am personally very excited about it, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, seriously. Should be an awesome title.
It's going to be great.
Cool. So, back to the 100.
Oh, yeah.
Because this episode was full of awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently
It was
lots
rocking.
of, well, I don't know about love, but there was some love making.
The episode
Yes.
was incredible. I mean, just on every level. I really, really enjoyed this episode.
He was really
a lot.
enjoying this
Oh, yeah.
episode.
And you guys, the part that I enjoyed of this episode was the part with the romance between Clark and Lexa. That's
Yeah.
the part that I enjoyed. So I don't know what you were looking at me.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing.
I was looking at you with. Never mind.
I don't even know what you guys are getting
Settle
at.
down, you two.
Well.
Yeah. Ain't no love on this panel. What? Cold, hard facts.
Sure.
In that case, I'm going to start as far away from love as possible.
This is our leader who can look us in the eye and say to us, "Go die for me."
Yes.
That's from the show. Guys.
Yeah,
that's a line from the show.
That's
that just
not happening.
happened.
Sorry,
I
Tara.
feel
You're a
like
great
everyone-
leader, but it's not happening.
Come on.
No.
Die for me.
Oh, come on. Die for
Do
me.
Hey,
it.
you can say it any way you want it. Still not going to work
It's not
on
going to
me.
happen.
But speaking of people who will die for their leader,
Yeah.
let's talk about Jaha and the Land of Light. This section was really interesting to me.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, we come in and it starts a little cornball. It's a guy telling jokes. What's up?
No. I said, sorry. Dylan Earls. I'm sorry if I mess up your name. Says he loves us all.
That's lovely,
Aw,
Dylan
shucks.
Earls.
We heart you too, Dylan.
But anyway, I actually liked the weird banter.
I'm sorry, did we already let everybody know where they can find this live chat? So they can follow
Yes.
us live right now?
Oh no, you can go ahead and tell everybody.
Well, I don't know because it's in front of you.
Oh, well, you can go to AfterBuzzTV.com or go to YouTube/AfterBuzzTV, and you can find us live, and I can read off everybody who's in the chat room, which is, we got Midnight Black, Talk to Kitten Paw 93,
It's good people.
SM down H9, and I think besides myself, and then Dylan and Christy. So shout out to all of you guys.
In the conversation.
Yeah, please join
Nice.
in the conversation because I want to know what you guys think, especially when we get down to predictions and, theories. Any questions you guys have, hashtag ABTV, the 100 on there. So,
Yes.
or at least put my name in there so I can be like, oh, someone said something.
Nice.
So just letting you know. But anyway.
It's going to explode with your name.
I'm like, I can't keep up. But no, I really enjoyed the banter between Jaha and Murphy. Even though, yes, it did seem kind of cheesy, I actually enjoyed it because it was kind of nice to see them getting along, but it was kind of great with Murphy's kind of like,
Yeah, he's really quick.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I thought the very, the New Earth specific jokes were really interesting. Like, he wasn't telling old guy walks into a bar jokes. They're all like based in the world that they live in.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I didn't get it at first. When he said it, I was just kind of like, why is this funny?
Right.
And then he had to explain it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because Reapers eat grounders.
Right.
Did it.
Well, you were like thinking about
Knee
it.
slapper!
As you're thinking about it, it's just they just explosion. It's the second episode in a row that we've started with a severed limb floating around on the screen. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
like to-
That completely took me off guard. I was just like, he just exploded. Oh my gosh, he just exploded. What is happening? And you were just like, landmines, Alexis. And I was
Right.
like, well, obviously, I just wasn't expecting people to just be blown up on camera.
So the dude gets blown up. The next time we come back to them, they're still in the desert, but they're trying to wait out a sandstorm.
Yeah.
And I really liked the set design for this part. I thought it was really cool, really elegant, like very artistic when they first push back in on that shot.
Yeah.
And there's the four of them and they're sitting, and you can't really, when you first look, you can't tell what's going on. But I like they're all wrapped up and they're all sitting, and like it just was like really cool to me. And then the sand subsides and you realize what they've been doing. They've just been sitting there waiting out a sandstorm, surrounded by landmines, making their way through the desert. Where they eventually end up, which is they come over the hill after making the landmines, and they see a bunch of solar panels.
Yep. The light that they had seen over the hills was reflecting off the solar panels, and you assume that it's this abandoned place. And what did you guys think that the solar panels meant? I mean, in my mind, I was like, oh, everything the people must be underground.
Right.
In these
Yeah, that was my first impression too. I mean, when they first showed the whole wide shot of everything, I was kind of like, what is that? Is that shiny rocks? Like, I don't really know. Like, I couldn't tell what it was. But after they got closer and they showed that there were some panels that I was like, solar panels that I was sitting there going, oh, they must be underground using the energy to, power their city underneath.
Yeah.
I had that thought. I also had the thought that, though, once they showed the screen, the video screen of the drone, clearly somebody's looking at that video screen.
Right.
So but I had the thought for a minute, which was just maybe this city of light is like a trap, and these reflectors are just intact and weren't destroyed by anyone, so that if you needed to send somebody on this fool's errand through a line, like a minefield, you would send them and they would see this light reflecting, and that's why they would be drawn in.
Right.
That was the one thought I had, but actually the funniest moment for me was when the drone shot on the screen, in the bottom right, the CW ad said iZombie, advertising the show iZombie. And I was like on the screen, I was like, why does that drone say iZombie? I was like, the drone's an iZombie? I was like, this is just so weird to me. That's such a strange, isn't that a show? And then I was about to say to you guys, and then it switched. I was like, oh, I'm a fool. It's still on the screen. Never mind.
Well, I feel like you could argue. You could be like, well, maybe the drone was originally Apple-inspired, and the civilization is dead, but it's still alive.
I was pondering this.
Midnight Black says the drone, and I think it's a group worse than Mount Weather, like Area 51-ish, or more mutated advanced people.
It could,
interesting, yeah.
It might just work for Mount. Yeah, that would be interesting if that was what they were going towards. They were just giving up position by just giving away information about whether not realizing it.
Right.
I also like that the chat's like, guys, Jaha has legit gone crazy, because we were all talking about it.
I wanted to talk about that
please.
next.
Please.
Because my favorite moment of this whole Jaha portion of the episode is when he himself starts wondering if he's gone crazy, and he goes, I fell from space.
Yeah.
I fell from space. I just, there has to be a reason. And I feel like that's when, for everyone else, it clicked that he's nuts.
Yeah.
And Murphy is kind of just along for the ride.
Well, because he has nowhere else to go. Like, what's he gonna do? Well, you're crazy, I'm out. Like, where are you gonna go? You can't walk back to the camp.
We need a boat. A boat appears, John. I mean, pretty amazing. Selena Wilkin, who I mention every single week because she's an incredibly talented writer, who I steal half of her information for this panel. This just in, because she's a genius with this show. She had written an article a while back about Jaha possibly being crazy, and how it would be like a really interesting twist if actually what turns out is that this fool's errand is just he's nuts, and it doesn't resolve in a way where he's ever vindicated. He's actually just nuts.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I thought about it a little more tonight. They wouldn't do it in like a really like fooled you away where like he just is crazy and then everybody dies.
Yeah.
They would maybe do it in a way where they get somewhere, he dies, and then but the place they got to is relevant to the story for the other characters. Like maybe it's Murphy ends up having a pivotal role in the war because of like the place Jaha got him to without realizing it. You know what I mean? I think that's how it could resolve. While Jaha is still nuts, there is no City of Light. There's nowhere they're getting to. It's just destiny brought them there or something like that. I don't know.
I'm kind of gonna be on the same boat, but not really. Like I feel like they're gonna go through this journey. They're not gonna be able to find the City of Light. Jaha dies from something, but then Murphy finds the City of Light at one point, and he's like, after Jaha's already passed, he's gonna be like, "You're right. You're crazy, but you were right." And then whatever happens from there can continue from there.
So we're in agreement. Do you believe also that Jaha's going to die?
I don't think he's going to die. Because I feel like he is... They're making him to be this kind of, like, prophet thing. The idea of faith hasn't really been a theme throughout the 100.
Right.
I mean, I think that with the track record of the show, they could very well make him insane and just have them end up be in a deserted place, no way out, and he's just like, but it has to be, and then everyone dies. So it could be something like that, but I feel like they're trying to explore something new.
Yeah.
And so, if anything, if I were writing the show, I would do something to the effect of, they're going to get to this place that's the land of light, but it'll be worse than anything that they could ever imagine.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's funny that season 1 ended like the last shot. It was Jaha crazy. It was him on the ark himself going crazy, hearing a baby crying.
Yeah.
So if season 2 were to end with a similar moment of Jaha still crazy and a whole season of crazy,
I don't know about
that. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
I feel like it's just kind of not dribbled, but it's been dragged on because he was crazy. He was going crazy on the ark. Now he's going crazy on Earth. Like, you can't keep going with that. And if it does, I don't know how much further you can go on with that story. Personally.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that they're doing enough with Murphy's character? Do you think that they're like giving us they've started to tease that he's this really good character, and they've given us moments where it seems like they're developing him. Mm-hmm. But do you think they're giving us enough? With only 2 episodes left, do you think he's going to play much of a role?
I think so.
I think that they're going to save him for the next season. Mm-hmm. I read an article where the showrunner was basically saying that since he figured out where he wanted the whole season to go, and then once he was renewed, he was more free to kind of start seeding things as opposed to feeling like he had to conclude everything up.
Sure.
So I think that they're going to start their journey, and it's going to open up a door, and it'll just be our bridge into the next season.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
So Murphy. So I want to jump into a subject that we're going to save the best subject, which is obviously Clark and Lexa for the last. But I wanted to jump into...
What was your ship?
What?
What was your ship?
Clexa? That's not my ship.
No, it's Lexark.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was Lexark.
It's Lexark. The official... The official, like, social media...
Lexark?
Is Lexark.
I actually like that.
Well, I like it too. I just got tweeted Clexa. Now I feel stupid. I'm not in on the... I'm an outsider.
Oh, it's okay. He spends his time on Instagram.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I fell from space.
I'm done.
There's destined
I'm done.
for this.
I'm done. We're done.
Never had someone leave my show before. It's sweet.
So I wanted to talk about Ravik really quickly, and I don't think it's official. I don't think that the name Ravik is official. Not them as a couple.
That sounds really cool, though.
It does.
Ravik, we were interacting with some fans on Twitter this week, Alexis, not Lexa, Lexa, all over the place, about the proper name.
Yeah.
And I got in a little bit of trouble for saying that I thought Lindsay Morgan deserves a striking, dapper gentleman. That's not what I said at all. I just said I think a striping. Anyway.
Yeah, striping gentleman. Names rhymes with win. I don't know. Yeah. Most of the letters in his name should be Batman, but you add an extra E or something.
This is off script. I don't know what you're doing.
I can't pronounce your name, so I apologize, but it's DIANTC333. It's how you said it. Ben, don't feel stupid.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
They're defending
I
you.
love our fans. I love our fans. But so, we were talking about Ravik and all this, and one of our fans suggested Ravik versus Waven.
Waven. I don't mind Waven, but I sounds kind of silly.
Yeah.
Oh, I really want Waven together. Right? Yeah, I would love Waven together. I think it's adorable.
Wiccan was cute, too.
I did like Wiccan. Yeah. I really liked that one, but nobody was on my boat, I don't think.
That's okay. Well, yeah, let's talk about them for a little bit. We come in, and Raven's trying to figure out the whole deal with the acid fog. And Wick comes in, and he's like, hey, I can help you. I've been just kind of hanging out. I need something to do. Let's figure this out. Raven's super stumped, but kind of stubborn, doesn't want any help.
Yep,
they're trying to
usual.
Yeah. But that's what we love about her. She's so headstrong. Of
course.
And so they're trying to figure out, one, what kind of acid the acid fog is, and two, how could they counter it. And so we... I feel like we can just jump into them getting the call from Bellamy.
Yeah.
And he tells them that he's in the room with the acid fog tanks, and they walk him through the panel. We find out that it's aqueous sodium hydroxide that neutralizes the acid.
Right.
They're so ecstatic that they almost kiss.
But not quite.
Not quite. And then later... Raven comes back, and they do it. Boom.
I just love how it was just like, he was just talking, and she was just like, pounce, I'm going to make out with you now. And I was like, whoa, all right, we're doing this. Yeah. Cool. Because wasn't she hesitating at first?
She was, yeah.
She kind of, like, earlier in the season when it was a thing, she had been like, I feel like she'd been sassy. She'd, like, given him this attitude. It was like, this is not going that direction or something. I don't know. But I thought my only problem with this whole exchange was that first of all, it's nice to see Lindsay Morgan have some screen time this episode, because it's been a couple episodes since we've had like a very relevant Raven storyline. Yeah, and she got like an arc in this episode, which is great to see. But I felt like because they hadn't given us much Wick for quite a while, he hadn't been in the show for, it felt like 4, 5, 6 episodes.
No, sorry guys, I'm gonna be that fan right now where I was just like, who's this person? Right. And you guys were like, it's Wick, Alexis, and I was like, oh. When was the last time we saw him? Like 6 episodes ago.
At
okay.
Least,
I don't feel that bad.
Maybe like 8. I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So he pops in, and they do their thing, and then he says this thing to her because she's being all just exactly like after season 1 when she slept with Bellamy. She gets up and she immediately does the same move where she's all like putting her clothes on.
She's all business.
She's all business. You can tell she's kind of uncomfortable with the whole thing. Intimacy, because clearly she has intimacy issues.
Yep.
And this is the thing that I didn't like about this, because he says to her, look, if you want to do this, I'm in. But I don't want to play any games. And I had this moment of like, you know what? Like, this is not a romance that's been developing.
They're teenagers.
Her ex-boyfriend just died in front of her.
And he's like, if you want to do this, I'm in. It's like, do what? You guys are going to war right now, and like you're probably one of you'll probably go die. Like maybe both of you are gonna go die. Like, what are you gonna start dating at Camp Jaha? I don't know. It just, to me, it felt like one of those like. That was like a teen show moment. Right. Whereas like the rest of the episode and most of this show is no longer that at all.
I like that they throw that in there because it's not super realistic, but at the same time it does make sense that I feel like we've all been there when we were teenagers. You fall in love really quick. I mean, I wouldn't give out my cookies on the first go, but whatever.
Wick looks like a 29-year-old man. He's like, he does not look like a teenager in the slightest.
We don't know how. I mean,
he's like 24, but no.
I mean, but
that's like saying I look 17.
Well, I would argue that like for Wick, the war is not as real. He's not very much in the trenches. a lot of the Arkies, as the
that
joke
what they're
teller.
called?
That's what the joke teller was saying. He called them Arkies.
That's
so
interesting.
I like it. Most of the Arkies, they came in and they're in Camp Jaha, but they're not really fighting this war. They're not on the front lines with the grounders. They're not really a part of anything. So for him to be like, oh yeah, you want to be in a relationship, it's a slice of normal life. Whereas to her, she is constantly trying to help this tactical team go through. She's been through a lot of emotional stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand her being a little cold and him being more of a puppy dog in the situation.
No, I got it. It just to me felt like they've taught us with this show now to have these ridiculously high expectations. That I think when you get a moment like that feels like a TV moment, it's a little like my sensor just goes off. The red flag goes off.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much else going on that when it happens, it's kind of like, all right, that happened. So let's
Move
get back
on,
to
right. Totally.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, for character development, sure. But like, I can't sit there and just be like, I'm so angry. I'm just kind of like, okay, let's get to the war.
Right.
I'm so angry.
I'm so angry. I don't know. I can't.
Grab a Snickers.
Right.
But speaking of Bellamy.
Bellamy?
Bellamy.
Oh, really quickly before we actually move on to Bellamy, I tweeted at Lindsay Morgan this week. She responded back.
Here we go.
She essentially suggested that like maybe the songs thing that I was doing was like, but she was like, what else you got? She wasn't a fan of the songs, so we started suggesting other things. Tari suggested an arm wrestling contest.
Yeah.
I suggested fresh baked cookies because Alexis bakes
Why
amazing
are you
cookies.
whoring out me and my cookies?
They're just
so good.
They were so good. Then I suggested I was like a game. We'll challenge you to a game of your choice, any variety. I use the hashtag chess or checkers.
I'm sorry.
No response. but-
Lindsay Morgan, if you want to come to the studio and play Cards Against Humanity with me, I would be the happiest person
That'd be
in the
great.
world.
That would be. We could just do a whole show based on
I
that.
would bring Ricky Whittle back and have Lindsay Morgan and
gosh.
whoever else that we can get and have everybody sit at this table and play Cards Against Humanity. I think it would be awesome. Guys, tweet at them. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring in
Humanity.
the bigger, blacker blocks and we're going to play.
Nice.
And it's going to be awesome.
I think it goes without saying that I'd be a fan of that. We should move on to the next section before I get myself in trouble.
Yes. So yeah, speaking of Bellamy, let's talk about Mount Weather a little bit.
Yes, please.
So we come in and Cage is basically trying to figure out why all the grounders are hanging out just outside the perimeter of the fog. And as he's doing that, Bellamy is running around and trying to get access to the fog room. He gets made and starts
fog room.
Fog room.
That's what it is. I
While he
just
wears
thought
his
it was
fog
funny.
hat and
Sure.
so yes, and so he gets chased by all the guards because they realize that he's not loving stuff.
Like 11?
Lovejoy?
Yes.
Wait,
Lovejoy, yeah. Lovejoy.
That's the one.
I totally listen, guys.
And so he goes into hiding with Maya's dad, and they basically tell him that he can get access through the retro zone, or the retrofit zones. Mm-hmm. So he makes his way in there. We meet Lee, who is another guard who is on the side of the resistance.
Right.
And then while inside the fog room, he gets walked through by Raven and Wick, which we talked about.
Ravic.
Ravic.
Yeah. But they thought that they had turned it off, but it was all a trick. Mm-hmm. Cage basically waited until they were fooled. All of the army started moving in, and then cut off all communications. Mm-hmm. And Bellamy narrowly escapes with his life.
Yeah.
But he does manage to blow up the supply.
Which was awesome. I
moment.
loved that.
Action movie moment.
Oh yeah, it was very. I thought he was gonna at least get burned a little bit, and I was really glad that he didn't. But I was like, yeah, you got away by the skin of your teeth, sir.
That's not how action movie explosions work. In action movies, you get to walk away from explosions if they're far away from you, and it doesn't affect you. And then you get blown out of tubes or sewers by explosions, and just it's exactly what happened.
I'm not complaining. I'm glad that he
How it
got out
works.
unscathed. I'm just saying that was really close.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure
too
his
close for comfort.
first or second second-degree burn.
It's like in movies when like it's like somebody's what's your number? It's like 206 555 and like no number starts with 555. It's the same thing. You don't get burned by explosions if you're an action hero.
Yeah.
And that's what he was in this episode. Anyway.
Right.
So the first thing I noticed is a couple questions. Lovejoy had a son. He was adorable. He made me very sad. He's not just like, where's my dad? So
that's right.
How did it take so long for that to happen? And then the second thing is when Bellamy finally gets made, as you said, it's also just like, how is he still parading around with a key card that belongs to a dead guy whose son is in preschool and the guy's missing and the card hasn't even been? How does he have Lovejoy's card? Like all that just.
I thought he took a different card. I didn't think it was Lovejoy's card for some reason.
A different card.
Okay.
He had Lovejoy's card to begin with, and I assume that. I think that it was assumed by everyone that Lovejoy was either part of the brigade that got killed in the attack, or he was just out on patrol. Like they have a lot of people who are scouting the forests and stuff.
Right.
So I bet it's easy to lose track of them.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something I wanted to point out. Cage, he always has this sweet outfit on. It's like sort of a vintage-looking blazer with combat boots.
Yeah.
And like a cool pin, but no tie. His hair is always coiffed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that if that look was to show up on like a runway in Milan right now, it would be like men's fashion?
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to
Where
look
are we
like
going with this?
I just was thinking about it. I was like, this is supposed to be
happening?
I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. My man. I was just thinking it was just some sort of like absurd, like, this is the vintage outfit that I could piece together from the wreckage of 50 years ago. But it's like sweet combat boots with like, I think they're suit pants that match the jacket.
Right.
It's nicely frayed, but it's like kind of put together. He's got like a cool collar, like a little pin. His hair looks like it's been to the blow dryer.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there. I will. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
If anyone in the 100 wardrobe department, you did an amazing job on Cage. Ben would like to acknowledge that. We all would like to acknowledge that. It was good. No, I agree. Like, if I were to cosplay and I looked anything like, I think actually you could probably
just
pull off
gonna
a
say,
Cage
it's like
cosplay.
you can,
If we did the thing where we show up in costume as characters. Oh, I also suggested to Lindsay Morgan, by the way, we all would come as dressed as Lindsay Morgan. That was another suggestion.
Oh, my word.
Oh, jeez.
But Cage.
yeah.
I'll come dressed as Cage.
You should.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, my brain is all scattered
I know
now.
my brain's like all over the place right now. I'm like, I want to dress up as Lexa. Man, I really need to think about my costume choices. What are we talking about right now? Episodes?
Yeah. We're talking about Cage. I thought
Cage fashion. That's all my notes.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
he just drew. It's a doodle of boots.
Oh, no, hey, look, Talk to Kitten Paw 93 says Cage looks hot, even with the white makeup. So there you go.
Yeah.
Someone's on your side.
I mean, I thought that Cage's plan was really smart.
But?
No buts.
Really?
I thought it was actually really smart. It to me, it kind of solidified him as a valiant enemy. Before, he was just like a petulant kid trying to like usurp his father.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like you see now that he actually has like an ability to lead and ability to like make sound war decisions. I mean,
agree.
if not for Bellamy's, I would say Bellamy's luck, then he would have essentially wiped out the Grounder army.
Right.
So I thought that was a really a nice touch to his character.
Yeah, I would agree. I really would like to talk about the best part of the episode. Do you guys have any other things to say about Cage and his combat boots or anything? No?
No,
Alright, you're done talking about Cage's suit?
No, someone said it's the same one. I can't pronounce your thing. I'm so sorry. They have nicer clothes at Mount Weather. Remember when Clark was there and they brought in a wardrobe for her to pick out whatever she wanted?
She had the
Yeah.
sweet like cardigans, little camis and things she was wearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I assume you want to talk about
Just
all the
everything
Tom
that's-
DC stuff.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff.
But before you do that, let's talk a little bit about iTunes and YouTube.
I love this segment because it always sounds like it's like, and here's Tauri with the iTunes, segment of the day. They're just like, hey guys.
Yeah, I feel like
Here's your script.
Oh, sweet. No, I feel like I should do it all like old jazz radio.
You
like,
should.
hey guys, thanks for watching and listening to us on iTunes.
I need that music in the
As
background.
always, good night
Yeah.
and good luck.
if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and give us a rating. 5 stars if you love what we're doing, 4 stars if you think we can improve in any way, shape, or form. If you think that we can do anything better or you love what we're doing, leave us a comment below. Something to the effect of, hey, you guys are awesome and I love all your banter. Something like that. If you think that we can improve, tell us how. Make sure that you're on... Make sure...
Damn it!
I know, I messed it up. Make sure that if you're listening on SoundCloud or on YouTube, that you give us that thumbs up and like all the videos and like all the audio podcasts, because we do this for you, and all we ask in return is that you, the viewer/watcher, participate. Give us a rating, leave those comments. Make sure that you are interacting with us, because that's our favorite part, interaction with you, our fans.
We love the fans. I'll give you a thumbs up, Terry. I'll give you a thumbs up right now.
Did you hear that amazing Josh, our engineer/producer, is the coolest man in the world.
It's good.
And also, wow, that was awesome. If you guys didn't catch that, was a Scott Pilgrim reference. So I'm just gonna let that.
Oh yeah,
let that go.
I think they caught that.
Okay, good. Because I love that.
Like and subscribe if you enjoyed that reference.
So
Call to actions.
A lot of things happened in Tondisi.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
It started with Clark and Lexark, arguing about what should happen. Sorry, I was really proud of myself.
Oh, you mean Klexark?
Yeah, Klexark.
Whatever. Either way, I'm sorry, guys. I love shipping, but I also don't love shipping. It's a love-hate relationship I have with it.
So
names are weird.
So they're talking about what to do, and war is this, war is that. And so then Clark has like a run-in with Octavia, and she's like, I know that you did something wrong. I feel like, and she's like, yeah, I did send the missile. It's war. And then after that, there's a whole sequence of events where they decide to go to war, and then finally, Lexa and Clark. What are you laughing about?
Sorry.
I just love...
Midnight Black's like AfterBuzz, after dark. I just saw like the lights kind of dimming and just seeing Tauri and like shades and like I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Here's my saxophone.
Yeah, like that's what I was waiting. It was like a man and a saxophone playing. Okay, sorry.
Careless Whisper was like, and then they kiss.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I'm so sorry.
All right, sorry. We're getting way off topic.
That's great.
So then they finally kiss at the end of the episode, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I felt like a teenager watching the OC again. Like I was like, and I look, my favorite girl on the show, the girl who I have been campaigning to get on the show, had a romantic scene on the episode, which was fine. This was to me like the episode of the year in television for me that I enjoyed the most. I like really liked this episode. I just thought so much build up to that moment for it to finally happen, and for it to be with Lexa, who's such a badass actress.
Yeah.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
And Eliza Taylor has just, I mean, it was just great. I don't know. I was totally sold. I was completely sold. I was like, that's the I'm not a shipper, guys, but I kind of was like, I get a ship. So anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's all in my system now. Drop the mic.
All right, now it's time for Ben to leave. No, let's take our time with this one.
Oh my word.
Before we get to the kisses, let's talk about...
He's going to be talking like this for the rest of the episode.
I kind of want to. I won't be, though. But, no, like, I think just kind of leading up to the kiss, I loved the dynamic between the two, just their difference in how war should be portrayed. And you, like, Clark, on the whole, up till now, has been all about just the survival of her people. And Lexa has been about, like, leading. She was, like she said, born to lead. And so she's ruthless. And just, you can see them both influencing one another. Clark is getting a little more ruthless, while Lexa, you see for the first time her feel. And it's a really odd and well-acted moment where you see her stunned by her own emotion.
Yeah, she almost got tears. Beautiful, right?
I'm sorry. I was getting choked up there. It was... Yeah, I mean, I even had to stop for a minute, and I went, was that the first time we actually saw Lexa show any type of other emotion besides, because she's such a strong character. So it really took me, it took me aback to think about it that way. And I feel like her whole emotional change today, or in this episode, was really refreshing, and I really liked to see her kind of more in this like softer side. I mean, I don't think she's going to obviously be like that if she, let's say, ever becomes into relations with Clark.
Right.
But at the same time, I like that she can kind of switch and know, like, okay, I'm not a leader. I am your lover or your girlfriend or whatever
Right.
this ends
Yeah.
up turning out to be. And I, as a person who's been in not the same relationship, but a person, when you're with somebody who's always strong and has to portray a certain
Persona.
persona, because she was, she was like I'm not going to get into more of that, but
Yeah.
she was high up in her job and she had to portray a certain way when she's around at work. But then
Right.
when I had, when we went out on dates or if we were together, she was always a completely different person.
Right.
And I liked that, and I think that it's going to it's going to be a whole new side of Lexa that I think the fans and us will enjoy. And I really like that, and I love that they were constantly showing when they were all walking towards Mount Weather how they were exchanging eyes a lot more than they usually do.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it just kicked open a huge door for them, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see where the relationship goes. Even though I know some fans aren't into it and some fans are.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I think a lot of the fans that weren't into it aren't into it because of the shipping element that it defies, because Bellamy and Bellark is it's the big one.
Yeah.
So this was leaked midweek, by the way. I think a lot of you guys
I
watching
refused to listen to anything, so this was all surprising when this happened
Right.
until you guys ruined it for me.
It was unintentionally
Yeah.
leaked as well. It was.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, and so Kim Shumway,
yeah.
Shumway.
who wrote the episode, she responded. She said it was a little disappointing to have the fans know that this was going to happen before experiencing it as part of the show as she was expecting.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. I also read a couple articles after it was leaked that were just sort of like, this represents a huge moment, because though there have been same-sex relationships on shows, there have been bisexual lead characters, the fact that this is a female character on a show like The 100, on a network like the CW, and that she is, an on-screen kiss with a girl, she's a bisexual character, she's the strong woman, it's a very unique turn to a character who was already incredibly unique.
Yeah.
There's a whole cast of characters. And I think the thing that I thought was the most impressive about this, cultural stigmas aside that would make this stand out, I reacted to this like I reacted to Marissa and Ryan when I was 14 watching the OC. That's amazing to me. I literally reacted to the same sort of giddy excitement of I love this. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is an enormous achievement. That's stronger than almost anything this show has probably done for me as a viewer, is the fact that could happen, that moment could finally happen at the end of the second season.
Yeah.
And it could just grand slam it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love shows that normalize, like, what are seen as, like, alternative relationships. Because, I mean, that's how it shouldn't be like, we're talking about lesbian and gay and
Yeah,
bisexual
yeah.
relations. It should be like, this is a thing that's happening. And it wasn't, like, when Clark pulled back, it wasn't, oh my gosh, you're a girl. It was, I'm not ready for a relationship. And so I thought that was a really great
Yeah,
thing.
I wanted to touch up on that because
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be kind of like, I'm not cool with this, because that's what I was expecting for her
It's
to
like
come
a
out of her mouth.
Brokeback Mountain moment. Like,
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of,
right.
and I figured that it wasn't going to be like that bad, but I figured that was going to be what was going to keep them apart.
Right.
At one point that she was like, I'm not, no, like that's not going to happen. But I did like that the first thing out of her mouth was just like, I'm not ready for another relationship. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
this is amazing. Because I mean, most people usually especially in like Glee and a few other things, usually the person who is going through this relationship is always on that huge spectrum of like, oh, I don't go that way, like,
Right.
I'm offended that you even found me attractive, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that the writers were they didn't make her into this, I mean, I figured that because the fact that this is a totally different generation of kids, that they're very open to everything. But it was just really nice to see it and actually hear her say those words. It made me, as a bisexual person, like, oh, well, that was nice.
Yeah.
I really like that. So I don't know. I really appreciated that.
it was a huge moment. I think more and more I'm just fascinated by most of the characters that are in Ton DC. And the last 5 or 6 episodes now, since the action's been so intense and there's been so much drama.
Yeah.
I tweeted this like maybe 4 weeks ago that I felt like I felt like Indra and Lexa should have their own spin-off. And I said it in like this half-hearted way at first. Like I meant it, but it was like, I mean, we're not really going to see that happen. Mm-hmm. Then I was thinking about it again tonight. It's like I just love those characters.
Yeah.
They're just great. I would be totally intrigued if they gave me an episode that was before the people showed up, before the arc landed. And it was like life on the ground before, and it was just Indra and Lex like going through the woods hunting or something.
Yeah,
I'd be fascinated by that.
No, that would be a good show.
They're great characters.
Yeah,
I mean, and you look at the interaction that we just were about to get to, I'm sure, with Octavia and Clark, and they have this intense interaction. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, when Marie, I always mess her name up, Octavia Agravopoulos, something, talks. She's so cool now. She's so intense.
Yeah.
And I totally buy it.
Yeah. Even her voice is different. Like she plays it a lot more gravelly, like a lot more dark, and I love that.
Yeah, me too.
She's just intense.
And I like that it showed that, you know, Clark was trying to like, you know, get her to kind of be more on like her side about stuff, and she was just like, no, I'm not having it. Like what you did was wrong. And then she tried to show that to Indra, and Indra's like, that's war.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just period. And then she just does her battle cry, and I was just like, yes, this is why I love this show. It's just kind of like, suck it up, teenagers. This is how this is gonna work.
Right.
And then you saw in her face, she's like, you know what? Yeah. And then she also did her battle cry. I loved that. That whole little itty bitty little conversation was fantastic.
Well, because the way that it all broke down, where it's like basically it's Clark goes, Lexa, you're wrong. She goes, you have a lot to learn. Then she goes to Octavia, you have a lot to learn. She goes, no, you're wrong. And then she goes, Indra, you have a lot to learn. And then Octavia's like, we all have a lot to learn.
Exactly. And and you saw that on her face. She was like, you know what? We're all learning at this point, and then it's time to put that aside because we have more important things to think about.
Right.
It was great.
The war is going to be sweet. It's
gonna be amazing.
This 2-part finale is going to be intense, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some guests, by the way. I mean, I'm not gonna say who exactly because episode to episode.
Surprises.
But yeah, there'll be some cool guests going on the next, whether or not they're call-ins or in studios. The next two will definitely have some guests, which is exciting for us.
It'd be awesome.
Everyone agrees with the Grounder spin-off. They want it.
It's so good. Just tweet at the writers. I tweeted at them, and
Yeah.
they were excited enough about it to tweet me back immediately. So you should just tweet at them again because that's
you should
great.
do it. Yeah.
Since we're talking about the finale, let's move into predictions.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
please. But also, since we're hold on.
Quiet. We're making noises.
I'm sorry. If you guys are in the chat room, which I know you are, write your predictions down because I would love to read them at the very end after we talk about our predictions. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. A few people write some predictions.
Yes, please.
Predictions.
Yeah, you're first.
So start with you, Ben.
Mr. Fashionista.
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, prediction numero uno.
I think that Cage is going to wear something super
I know, that's
sweet.
what I wanted.
Cage is going to wear something by Prada, possibly Louis Vuitton. Maintain priority. I am going to...
Alexis is now dead.
My over-under number that I'm going to designate for, like, relatively key characters dying in the next 2 episodes is 3.5. And I'm going to take the over. I'm saying four characters of some significance die in the next 2 episodes. So we're talking like Harper and below, or Harper and above, as I'm saying.
Okay.
That's my level. So like it can't be like Fox. Like she's had like a couple lines. It's got to be somebody who's actually been and had some lines. I think you're gonna see 4 or more characters die in the next 2 episodes.
Okay. Nice.
I'm hoping to see a little bit of Kane and Abby in the next 2 episodes, hopefully. I mean, I assume because it is the finale, but I know that they've been injured, so I don't know if they're going to show them a lot. But I'm hoping to see them because they're already walking to battle, so Abby and Kane are chilling, back at the Ark. But I predict that, I don't know about 4 people. I can imagine at least 1 or 2 people, maybe.
So
I mean, I know that
you're taking the under on my 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna split it in half there. Mostly just because I feel like we always talk about that we want somebody to die so badly, and I think I always feel really bad, but it's true. I feel like there are gonna at least be 2 not hugely major people, but I think 2 of a good significant characters will die. I think that they are going to win the war, and I don't know what they're going to do about Cage. I'm curious what you guys think about Cage and what they're going to do. If they're going to kill him, they're going to capture him, or if he's going to kill himself. Like, there's so many possibilities, I feel. I don't know the writers are always surprising me, so I can't really predict what's going to happen to him. But I know that everybody in Mount Weather is going to die, army-wise. I'm
going to assume that, like, because the way that I imagine this whole thing playing out is that Bellamy is going to get all the grounders inside of Mount Weather free. Then everyone in Mount Weather is going to be fighting a two-front war. Mm-hmm. No one's going to know who's on the good side and on the bad side. A bunch of people in Mount Weather are going to die. Eventually, all the grounders and the sky people, Arkies, if you will, are going to essentially take over Mount Weather. And then, if not the last episode or the next season, we'll be figuring out what to do with the Mount Weather people before we're introduced to a new enemy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, what's going to be the new threat? I mean, I assume that a lot of people are saying it's going to be the City of Light, or whoever's in the City of Light is going to be the new threat, but we won't know about it until next season,
right?
You know, which makes sense because I was trying to figure out like who's actually going to be, if they are making a third season, so who's going to be.
I just had the sweetest idea.
Go for it.
Probably won't happen.
Well, I would like to know.
What if what if he's crazy and some crazy role reversal thing happened where Jaha went to the City of Light and turned evil and became the villain? Like, what if some sort of weird
I can't see that happening, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, what if, because he's crazy, what if some sort of power, he just starts to lose it and disagrees, or I don't know, I'm just thinking he would make a great villain.
Or
an excellent villain.
To bounce off of that, maybe he'll do something that saves the City of Light in some strange way, and then he becomes the ruler of the City of Light.
That's kind of
but not in a villain way though. He's just the ruling, and then he's gonna have a hard time trying to control them.
Yeah.
And then maybe they go after the Arkies.
My last prediction, and this is maybe wishful thinking, we will get Lindsay Morgan on this panel. You guys
I was waiting for him to say that.
You're laughing. It's not necessarily this season. On a stretch goal, it would be this season. But my prediction is that we will eventually get Lindsay Morgan on AfterBuzz TV. Just putting it out there. Positive visualization.
If you believe it, you can achieve it.
Okay, well, a lot of people in the chat are saying Lexa's going to die.
Well, yeah. I think that's...
Even though some people don't want her to die, but it looks like a lot of people are saying that. Some people are saying Maya's dad, or maybe Maya. Somebody wants to kill... Talk to the kitten paw wants Abby to die because she's so obnoxious.
Can't kill them for that reason.
Obviously, but yeah.
You're too
Cage
annoying
will die,
to live.
probably be killed by Clark or Lexa. Echo will fight alongside Bellamy and the other formerly imprisoned grounders. That's Talk to the Kitten. Addie says Cage can go outside, so he could feasibly escape in some way. That is true. Dylan number 1.
Still loves us. I know.
No. Lindsay, please. Ben loves you.
Well, I love the character of Raven, and I hope that she, the actor Lindsay Morgan that plays the character that I like Raven so much, would come on to the show so we could chat with her about the show. I don't mistake this, guys. This is not a personal thing that I was get Lindsay Morgan because I think she's great. It's I say that because I don't want to say Raven all the time.
Midnight Black says, I think they will have an argument about killing everyone in Mount Weather, especially the kids. Lexa, Bellamy, or Indra may get injured.
Yeah.
Midnight Black says, no, Ben, you're wrong. You're lying to us. Just be honest. No, just kidding.
I was like, that's not what he said.
Let's kill the younglings.
He also feels like, I also feel like Murphy and Jaha will save them in some way.
Yes, some contribution.
Talk to the Kitten says Jaha equals dark cult leader. I love that.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
But
So, awesome. Great predictions, guys. And thank you to everyone who has participated in the chat roll. Thank you for everyone listening retroactively.
Watching right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
keep up with us throughout the week. Let's tell the people who we are and where they can find us. Ben Bateman.
My name is Tauri J. Oh, wait, what? My name is Ben Bateman. You guys can find me, Ben Bateman Media, on Instagram and Twitter.
And I'm Alexis Torres, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at atorres890.
Nice. And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TaurijAY. Thank you for listening. We look forward to talking with you next week or whenever you're listening to us. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and keep interacting with us at #ABTV100. Have a wonderful night and stay grounded.
See y'all next week.
Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.